Hello, book lovelies, and welcome back to the Happy Little Book Nook. I am so incredibly sorry that it has taken me this long to do my December book haul that I did right after Christmas and a little bit before Christmas. I know that we are now into 2016 and lots of super exciting things to come. But with all of that being said, I have been very sick with this nasty cold thing going around. I'm pretty much most of December still trying to get over it now. So that is why I have not done this video sooner, because I sounded terrible and I looked more terrible than I do right now. So anyways, that is why it's taken me this long, but I still wanted to do it because I did get a massive heap of books. Let me see if I can even pick all these books up for you. Okay, so this is my book haul that we are about to get into here. I believe 3 of the books I've already read through, so I'll kind of do a quick little book review on those as we get to them. But yeah, let's begin. Yeah. So the first book that I got is Six of Crows by Leah. I'm terrible with names, so I apologize. Leah Bardugo. Super love this book, not just because of the reviews that I've seen on BookTube and Instagram, but because how gorgeous are the pages of this book. Like, that is just incredibly gorgeous, the black on the red, and I am beyond excited to read this book. I've heard amazing things about it and super excited to get into it, so this is definitely top of my list to get back to reading once I get back into it. The second book that I got is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. When I read Fangirl, I automatically fell in love with her writing. I loved the little bits of Carry On with Simon and all of them in that book. Wasn't 100% sure if I was going to want to read this or not, just because it felt a little Harry Potter-ish kind of takeoff, and I wasn't like 100% committed to it. But the more that I've read about this, the more that I've heard about it, the more that I've thought about it, and the less I've been inside the Rainbow Rowell world, the more I realized I had to get this book and read it. So this is also going to be on my TBR list now. Love the cover for this too. Super bright, super pretty. Looks gorgeous on the bookshelf. So this is definitely another one. Okay. Yes! Ah! Fairest. Okay, as you can see right here, I have the Luna Chronicle series. I literally read all 4 books in like a very quick little book marathon, fell massively in love with the characters and the story, and went through a massive book morning once winter was over, because I love the world, I love the characters, and I was not ready to let go. So then I was looking everywhere for Fairest by Marissa Meyer to complete my collection of the Luna Chronicles, and I could not find this book anywhere. And I didn't particularly want to order it online, because even though it probably would have taken me less time to actually get this in the mail than it would have for me to find it in a bookstore, the logic just didn't seem to add up that I would have to wait for it. I don't understand it either, so we won't really get into that. But Fairest talks about Queen Lavonna's story, how she became queen, kind of wraps up the whole Luna Chronicles. And for me, this was a very quick read. I think I read this book, let's see, I started it right at the end of December and I finished it right before 2016. So this actually made it on my Goodreads challenge for 2015. Because this did not take very long to read, because I was so engrossed in the Luna Chronicles that I just devoured like everything inside this book. I really love the book. I love learning about Lavonna. Was a bit surprised by it because I didn't expect it to end the way that it did. I kind of expected it to be, for those of you who've seen the movie Maleficent, where you kind of hear this really sad story about how she became who she became as like this evil witch. You actually feel a lot of sympathy for her, and you kind of want to like her even though she's a villain. I didn't want to like Lavonna. There wasn't much in here that really made me want to love her, but I loved the story. And I think what I loved most about it was I loved finding out more about Cinder's past, because we don't really know much about her mum, because she's already dead by the time these books start. And a lot of the Lunar Chronicles is finding out about Cinder's, or Princess Celine's, life now, and kind of her discovering where she fits in all this, and kind of her rebellion and whatnot. So I did love hearing about this. I love seeing the contrast between who Cinder is as a person, as a queen, compared to Channery. I hope that's how you say her name. That's how I pronounce her name. Let me know in the comments below how you say it. But Channery, like, as a queen, as a person, and kind of seeing those comparisons and seeing how Lavonna became Lavonna. And, you know, there is a bit of sympathy in there for her, and the love that she wants so eagerly but can't seem to find. But honestly, did not go, oh, poor Lavonna at the end. But this definitely helped with my book morning over the Lunar Chronicles, which I definitely have a feeling I'm going to read again. And how many times am I going to say definitely? I'm going to try to stop that right now. So this is Fairest. I highly recommend it. It is a beautiful ending to the Lunar Chronicles, just to kind of wrap it all up. And I know that we've got the next book coming out. I believe it's called Stars Above. Is that the right one? I'm getting all my books confused. But I am super, super excited about it. Cannot wait to get my hands on it. Yes, I'm eager. Okay, let's carry on. The next book that we have is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Now that I've gotten past the Lunar Chronicles and I've been very much into the fairy tale world, I'm super excited to read this. Definitely feeling the whole kind of fairy tale-ish vibe, but with a little bit more of a darkness to it. So I think this is going to be the perfect book to kind of get out of the Lunar Chronicles and back into something a little bit more darker and interesting. The next book that I got was Soundless, which is a standalone book, and I am incredibly excited to read this, by Rochelle Mead. I got very, very lucky to get a signed copy. Was not expecting that, but there it is. This also is another book that I'm super excited to read. I love the concept about them not being able to hear, and then kind of this discovery and growth that goes through it. So definitely excited for this one. Sorry if I'm kind of speeding along. I don't want this video to be like majorly long. The next one that I got was Wolf by Ryan Gradine. I am very, very excited about this one. I am not much of a history fan. I don't really love history, especially American history. So it's kind of weird that I would want to read a book like this, only because it is kind of a historical fiction book about Hitler and this girl that gets to meet him in a plot to, from what I understand, kill him. But I do really love fictional history, and I find that it is extremely interesting. And this book I am extremely excited to read, because I cannot wait to understand more of what goes on, kind of this whole plot. And I've heard amazing things about it, so this is top on my list. Okay, so we've all read City of Bones by now, but I had to get the cover for the new Shadowhunters TV show that is coming out January 12th. Yeah! This is just a gorgeous cover. I mean, I hope you can see that. It is absolutely gorgeous. We've got Kat and we've got Dom on the cover. Let's see if we can get that glare off his face. I've read this book and I love this book. I love this series. You can see it all right here behind me, and up above me, if you can kind of see that little corner, is the release of the black and white covers. And even over here we've got more Shadowhunter, City of Bones, Clockwork Angel stuff going on. So I had to get that. And the last book that I got in December was These Broken Stars. This is by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I had heard amazing things about this, and it was a bit funny because I was standing in the Barnes & Noble, you know, picking out the books that I wanted to get, and I have constantly grabbed this book, and I have constantly seen it and thought, I should really buy that book because it looks like a book I'd probably love to read. And for whatever reason, I never did, and I actually met this lovely girl in the Barnes & Noble aisle who was grabbing it at the exact same time that I was, and I said, hey, have you heard about this book? And she's like, yeah, I've heard really good things about it. I said, I have too. I don't know why I don't just buy it. I'm gonna buy it. So we talked a bit about books, shared some book recommendations, which is always a fun and amazing thing, and I got this book. I read this book in about a day and a half, I think it was. It was a very, very short read. And loved the story. It was not quite what I was expecting it to be, but I loved the characters, loved the suspense and some of the parts, some of the surprises that happen in here. Have not rushed out to get the second book yet, only because it doesn't carry on the story of Tava and Lilac. And I really love the story of Tava and Lilac, and I kind of wanted a bit more of them to see like what happens after they leave the planet and kind of their lives after that. Even though it's kind of easy to imagine what happens, I still want a little bit more. I want to dive a little bit more into, I think it's LaRoe Industries and her family and her father, and there's just a bit more in here. So I will definitely be reading the other books in this series, but I've got to get through these other TBR piles. And one more book that I did not make into the pile because it's right over here. Woo! I'm coming back. Okay, this one I just finished right before filming this. It is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Again, this is another book that I'd wanted to read for quite a while, just because I love sometimes you have to find the extraordinary in the ordinary. And I love the concept of the people that are not the chosen ones, and kind of how they fit into the whole grand scheme of it. Was not super in love with this book though, not like I had hoped I would be. I love the diversity of the characters. I love some of the issues that they deal with, because they are very real issues for people, and I think they're important that we highlight them and point out that having anxiety or, you know, needing help for the different things is not a bad thing, and it doesn't make you a bad person or make you broken in any way, shape, or form. So I loved that, but the only thing that I didn't like was these characters just kind of fall flat. They're just regular, everyday type characters who just kind of live in their world that to them is very normal and very ordinary, and even though extraordinary things are happening around them or have been known to happen, they just kind of are blasé about it. And I was kind of hoping for them to rise up and, you know, prove that you don't have to be the chosen one to be the one that saves the day or whatnot. So not super in love with it. Definitely a good read. Like I said, there's definitely great things in it, but not my favorite. So that wraps up the December book haul. I will be doing a review shortly on the Lunar Chronicles because, oh, the feels. So please keep tuned. I hope you enjoyed this. Please go get some of these books because they are honestly fantastic, and I would love to hear it in the comments down below. Please let me know what you are going to be reading for January and what's on your January TBI list. And what did you set your good years, Huh, I hope it's a good year. Your Goodreads yearly challenge for. I have set the goal of 100 books, which I'm already 2 into, so hopefully we can reach that 100. I still have to stop reading books and get back to my writing, because I'm writing the second book in the Exist series, which I'm super excited about, and we will talk about that more later. But until then, have a wonderful 2016, and I will see you soon. Happy reading, guys!